Personal application. You want to create a practical philosophy of life that helps you solve your personal problems and makes you more useful to yourself and others. First, you need to understand the basics of spiritual development and then find a practical metaphysical plan that suits your specific needs. Everyone faces some form of discipline. In the material world, discipline leads to skills and efficiency. Without it, you can earn less money. Elbert Hubbard once said that an untrained worker makes $100 a day, but $95 goes to pay those who do the thinking for him and fix his mistakes. People go to school to learn skills because they understand that being skilled is important for making a living. The same is true for developing skills in metaphysical practices. Religion, which is one of the most precise sciences, cannot be learned just by praying and fasting. You don't become a good bookkeeper by simply hoping, nor do you become a great philosopher just by wanting to. You need to follow philosophical practices and work toward becoming skilled in these important areas. Some people believe there is a bigger purpose behind the visible world and everything happening in it. The reward for putting in more effort is a deeper understanding of spiritual truths. Finding peace and security isn't just about learning more or getting smarter. No matter how deeply someone feels, or how much they study and improve themselves on the outside, they aren't complete until they work on their inner self. Without developing spiritual awareness, all intellectual efforts won't bring true security or fulfillment. Traditional education focuses on improving practical skills and provides knowledge in various arts, crafts, and sciences. However, it often misses teaching students about their inner selves. Spiritual, soulful, and metaphysical aspects of a person are not included in regular schooling. This is clear because material knowledge doesn't lead to happiness, honesty, or integrity. Only spiritual knowledge can complete a person's education by providing security, moral strength, and spiritual insight. The goal of metaphysical education isn't just to memorize facts from a textbook, but to express the beliefs and values of one's inner spiritual life through developed abilities. All major systems of metaphysical philosophy include practices aimed at bringing out and improving a person's higher ideals. Generally, a person with a good education will benefit the most from metaphysical practices. Metaphysics should not replace traditional education. Instead, it is especially valuable for those who are already knowledgeable in various subjects. For example, someone who thinks they can learn Latin just through meditation will likely be disappointed. Metaphysical practices started in ancient religious systems. These schools of thought have thrived in India for thousands of years and were present in many great ancient cultures. The main difference between metaphysics and theology lies in the type of discipline involved. Julian the Apostate, a wise and virtuous Roman emperor, stated that only the most noble and educated people should take part in religious practices. Plato taught that being pure and self-disciplined are the first important steps to living a philosophical life. After Nero killed his mother, he was scared to enter the Temple of the Mysteries, even though he was supposed to be the high priest of Rome. The old rules and practices that Plato, Pythagoras, and Aristotle followed still exist. For many years, Western thinkers have ignored these teachings, focusing only on material aspects of life. However, Buddhist monks in China, Siam, and Burma, as well as Brahmin priests in India, still practice these old disciplines. Interestingly, these teachings are quite simple, but applying them can be challenging. The goal of these secret teachings is to bring out the spiritual values within people. The great teachers from ancient times showed how effective these practices can be. However, we don't live in the times of Plato or Aristotle anymore. Today, society faces new challenges due to economics and industrialization, which can burden people's souls. The old practices need to be adjusted for modern life to fulfill their original purpose. Many attempts have been made to modify metaphysical practices to fit modern thinking, but most of these adaptations have not worked well. This often happens because both teachers and students are overly optimistic. Many Eastern teachers assume their students are already advanced, but in reality, most students haven't made much progress in their personal growth. The challenge has been to create a program that avoids causing confusion or misuse. It is believed that studying this book will not lead to difficulties, and it can help students make real progress in understanding the old mystery teachings. Practicing metaphysical discipline won't protect anyone from the experiences they need to go through in life. Metaphysics doesn't change the laws of reincarnation and karma, but it helps students understand and appreciate how these laws affect their lives. The law of cause and effect is always true in nature. Metaphysics can give you the courage to start positive actions and the patience to deal with the outcomes of actions you've already taken. Metaphysics won't take away challenges like suffering, poverty, or debt, but it will help you face these difficulties with hope, integrity, and strong beliefs. It strengthens your character, which will help you handle various situations by facing them honestly and solving them fairly. The law of karma, or cause and effect, is the main reason for all metaphysical practices. A student improves their future through discipline, which means they will have a better life. Every action leads to results that match those actions. If you organize your life through philosophy and understanding, you will not only feel more secure now, but also have a better future in the next lives. In ancient times, those who wanted to learn the sacred sciences traveled far to study with wise masters. Pythagoras would meet students behind a curtain, and they could only see him after years of training. His methods were typical of the old ways of learning. To join his school, candidates had to provide a report on their character from respected people in their communities. They also needed to be skilled in subjects like mathematics, astronomy, and music to be eligible. Pythagoras used metaphysical methods to determine what each student needed to learn, and these requirements were strictly enforced, sometimes for up to 20 years. Under the careful guidance of the master and more experienced students, beginners could learn safely without misinterpreting metaphysical truths. Nearly 25 centuries have passed since the Pythagorean Institute in Crotona was destroyed, and one by one, the old mystery schools have disappeared. Today, seekers of truth cannot just ask to enter these schools, they must discipline themselves. Apollonius of Tyana, who lived long after Pythagoras, took on all the Pythagorean disciplines, including a 5-year vow of silence. He chose these practices for himself because he knew they were important for his spiritual growth. This is the mindset that modern students should have. Today, people have the ability to analyze and understand their own character without needing priests to tell them what is right or wrong. Each person is now their own leader in their spiritual journey. Understanding this, you must rely on your own integrity to guide you on the path of learning.